As you get older, how are your financial planning goals changing?
I think as you get old, like things start to come into a clearer focus, not only for yourself, but also for your family. You start to think about your parents, siblings if you have them, other relatives, children if you have them of your own. So I think the reality of certain things start to crystallize, not to be overly morbid, but you start to see the end of the road, so to speak. We all hope that road is long, but there are realities that road is probably not as long as it was 20 years ago. So I think that starts to frame the way you look at things financially. Because as you get older, that becomes very, very important. The things you might have done when you were 25 or 30 or even 35, you become less able to do, particularly if you have other people dependent on you, or it's more of a cohesive team effort, So I think that definitely starts to crystallize what you should be focused on financially.
How does that play out in the actions that you take?
Well, I think you just stop wasting time. You realize that there's certain goals you have to hit in order to make this all work. So from that perspective, you can't really say like, oh, I'll do it in 6 months or I'll do it in a year, or that could keep. Like it can't keep, like the things like you could have those conversations like at 25 or 26. Like it didn't matter. You might not have owned a home. You might not have had children. You probably were, working for somebody else. At least I was in my case. So I didn't have to think about like my own health care and all that kind of stuff. Those things were all kind of taken care of for me. But when you're out here kind of in the fight, you have to think about all of those things, so it's a total different framework.
And as an entrepreneur, how does that change how you approach things compared to the days when you had a, corporate job?
I mean, it's all on you. So I think there's a bigger sense of urgency. I think that's how I would classify it, that, you wake up and you're far more focused on the ins and outs of how to provide for yourself and your family than when you wake up and you get a paycheck. So you're not, when you have a paycheck and you have healthcare for your company and stuff like that, you're not thinking about the best provider or this or that. You just kind of sign up for whatever they gave you and it's there. And when you need it, you go. It's pretty self-explanatory. But when you don't have that structure and you have to create that structure, you have to do all of it, so there's a bigger sense of urgency toward making sure that all of that is in the right place.